Greetings and salutations, and welcome back once again to Gettysburg. I am your host as always. Now, where we left off, the 12th Corps was pushing into my positions around McPherson's and Oak Ridges. My attack to the south has sort of stalled just because of the sheer amount of federal artillery is just blasting any assault I'm doing to pieces. And we also discovered the location of the 5th Corps. General Stewart and the cavalry are rushing to the battlefield, as is Evander Law and his brigade. Otherwise, it's just a case of wait until Pickett arrives late in the afternoon. So, let us see what has happened. Okay, that's odd. The replay must have gotten corrupted or something. So, we'll have to go off the command report. 20 units undisrupted out of 25. 1 unit out of 2 rallies. 2 units recover fatigue. 4 units routed. 13th Alabama, 22nd Virginia Battalion, 55th Virginia, and the 17th Virginia Cav. 2 units resupplied, 1 unit 12, 157, 12. Those 3, I believe, are, those are all Brockenbauer, given the locations. That is probably one of my detachments of Scout Cav that I've got out. 2 unit, and then 12, 157. So if we go, okay, this is really bizarre. There we go. So let's have a look. See, he didn't push any further forward. That much. 12, 157. That would be up there. There we go. Those boys up there have finished. Okay, they lost a gun. What else? If we just scroll down and see what we can see. So yeah, 13th Alabama, which belongs to Archer, they routed. 55th Virginia and 22nd Virginia Battalions, which belong to Brockenbauer, they both routed. Which is, again, not surprising. My poor 26th North Carolina is just getting shot the living snot out of. They pulled back, but they're still isolated and disrupted. Which has forced Federal infantry forward. They obviously just got blasted in the face by those guns, unfortunately. And then over here we have these boys who routed. They will continue to rout quite happily. And then we get the going that way. So, all in all, he keeps moving more forces, but that's about it. No one else has been killed or wounded when it comes to officers, so we are just peachy by the looks of it. Well, semi-peachy. We're not that peachy. Oh, he can actually see me now. Interesting. His cavalry has moved up to a spot where he can actually see General Stewart arriving with Wade Hampton's brigade. So again, we may not have been able to see the replay, which is unfortunate, but I will still take it because we can. Still, we can still do the turn. We got our basic report. We know what's mostly happened. You two will focus on them. So for now, we'll just start with the usual cacophony of cannons. You're out of range, so might as well. So you can come forward now. Hmm. 35th, 14th. Hmm. 16 to 23 guns. That's cross, zook. Gonna move them forwards real quick. Which I then bump into these three regiments. 7th Michigan, 20th Massachusetts, and the 42nd New York. So let's get my routed boys out of the way for the moment and have them basically reform in those trees. What do we do here? I can advance and try and if I go here, I won't be shot at by that artillery, for one thing. Advance. We bump into more Federal cav. And we are getting shot in the face by that artillery, no doubt. I lose 2, he loses 10. Oof. And then you will focus on them. We will do a little bit of being aggressive with my cav for 2 big distinct reasons. One of which will be trying to help destroy these small, tiny elements of Federal cav. So the 14th VA cav will come round and help look to finish them off. Disrupted, isolated, yeah, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Which leaves me to bring up the guns to there, although they can't actually shoot at anything, and they are a little vulnerable. But we'll also bring up old Jenkins and the 16th and 35th Virginia Cav to do that. These boys will... This regiment of Bennings will shift along to there. They will go into there. These boys will go into there. Which basically stops them from doing anything shenanigan-y. And then they'll unlimber there. This is all McClaw's artillery, so... So yeah, we'll place his guns along there. Seams Brigade will move along to get into position to support, because at the moment it's just Barksdale doing this, with a little bit of support from Benning, which is not really going to be enough. These 9 guns, will all unlimber there. They can go there. What's the range? 6, 8. What if we go there? Can I make it? Yeah, you're going into skirmish. You're going into skirmish. You're going... you can't go into skirmish because you're disrupted. And you two are not in skirmish for obvious reasons. Let's bring these 3 guns. What can you see? You can only see them now. And then these 4 24-pound howitzers will come over there and get ready to unlimber. I'll move up those 2 lots of the Brooks South Carolina battery up there. And then this lot will go into there as well. To just try and blast the ever-living snot out of them, to get them out of my way. Alrighty. And I also will bring up the Washington artillery. This regiment, the Texans, are going to shift on the grounds of they've been fighting all day. I need them out of the line, if only for a little while. So he obviously pulled back along there. Yeah. They're all still just along there. So, yep, that line is pretty damn strong. They have to fall back. They're too exhausted. They have to get out of the way. And so do them. Pettigrew, you're fine where you are for now. Yep, there's Carroll, because he's gone at this point. Alright, what can you see? Absolutely nothing. Right, because of you're in that little slope, whereas you are on a bit of high ground there. Well, still, let's attempt to silence some of these guns that we can, at the very least. But every gun we silence is one not shooting at us. Bang. Nope, you did nothing. These 3 guns. There we go. Nice chunky whack in the face for them. And then I will shift you, and both of you actually. I'll shift you all there so you can start enfilading their line in places. It's not a lot, but it might help. Oof. This is all the same because, well, there's not much I can do except just continue to slug it out with them. Yeah, not really doing a lot. Still, better than doing nothing. Kershaw is still sort of resting, but I'm going to need him just to move up if nothing else, in case I do need him at any point. Yeah, this assault has just long run out of steam. Everyone's just too damn tired at this point, given that we've been fighting for, what, 4 or 5 hours? And if I had Pickett, I would be fine, but with no Pickett here, it leaves me, unfortunately, exceptionally vulnerable. There we go, another gun. These 7, so these 3 will shoot at you, blowing you away, or attempt to anyway. And then these 4 will shoot at the guns. And they won't do much, but it's there. 4 guns against guns. Nope. Florida boy, you can fall back. Blast them. There's almost nothing left of them now. And then you can just whack. You can whack them. And then these guns might as well just focus there. Nah, nothing from them. Get these out of my way for the second. I'm just doing all the artillery at once. So you and you can focus on hitting him, since he's in the eye nice and open. But he's also skirmishers, so I'm not likely to hit him now that I think about it. You 3 guns will focus over here. Nope. And then you're actually going to do the same. No. Unlimber all the guns up there. 4 guns to blast them. Yeah, it wasn't going to do a lot, given that they're in the town and protected with breastworks. But you never know. Let us... You 2 will blast. These 4 guns will fire there. Blast whoever that is. And then these lot will fire there. Blast those chaps. You, and you will all blast them. Yeah, didn't do a lot because they're in an orchard and they're skirmishers as well, so again, it's just a case of trying to thin out guns, I guess. No, you're actually going to shoot them. Yeah. We'll work on just thinning them out where we can. Um, 24, these 20 pounders rather, focus over there, and then these Napoleons focus there. Build breastworks, breastworks, breastworks. And can you guess? More breastworks. We need them all to, if I am to stop this assault. Gonna need every single one I can get my grubby little mitts on if I am to stop it. You are to shoot at them. And blast them, please, with those 4. That did next to nothing, which is rather unfortunate, so instead you'll blast them. Wow. That's really not done all that much, has it? You're going to pull back there. Any other guns to do? Yes. You lot, because I've totally forgotten some of them. So these 6 will do... Who can you see? Anyone? Yeah. So you do 4 onto... You'll do 4 on them. So the 4 10-pounder parrots will fire over here. Did a bit of damage, but not all that much. And then the 3 inchers will fire there and knock out another gun. Perfect. I'm being very annoying with my sniping of artillery, but I'd rather not be sniping artillery. I would much rather be shooting at infantry. Unfortunately, I'm not really getting that many good, juicy targets when it comes to them. You're going to go there to recoup. You're going to shift there. So, continuing back up the line, these boys are just going to shoot at them. Ow. They can't get at those guns, thankfully. But hopefully those guns should help at least somewhat dislodge them. But he's just got men everywhere building breastworks. And at the rate we're going, you are going to have to get out of the way now, rather than sit there and get shot. You are to go into skirmish. You're fine. You're all fine. Yeah, it's just a case of continuing to see what he does. But we do know where the 5th Corps is. And we can see basically what his plan is. He wants to perhaps keep the army, my army, pinned while going up here for the objectives. That's what I can guess his plan is, at the very least. It's what makes sense given some of his movement. These boys, however, are going to zoom up that road to... It's 25 horsemen, but whatever, they're scouts. They can do that job for me. You are going that way, and then so are you. And we're just basically going to try and get them out of my way at this point. Evander Law. We'll bring him up. 2:20. So 3 hours yet for him to arrive. I am a little worried, however, because with those boys sitting there now scouting me, I obviously can't keep coming down that road with Stuart. Well, I suppose I can. I'll just come down the road and stop, essentially. And we'll use my cav to sit on the federal flank and go, hello, we're here. First South Carolina cav, you're going this way. There. It's not like my cavalry are that well armed, unfortunately, because most of them have rifled muskets or rifled carbine. Yeah, just rifled muskets. A few of them might have carbines, but they're mostly just muskets. And others will have shotguns and pistols and such. So, not that appetizing, to say the least. When it comes to cav weaponry, this lot, this part of old Hampton's brigade is going to go this way, however, and cut through this little trail here, end up here. Fritz Lee can break off this direction, come down this road to Hunterstown, and come down the Hunterstown road. Let's get the guns moved up, because we're going to need them, no doubt. And then for old WHF Lee, he is going to continue towards I've forgotten its name now. Middleton. And then come down the Middleton road. Come down the Middleton. Well, actually, he's coming down the Bendersville road, but 31st Virginia, you're going to do that. Oh, yeah, 9 men there. Pbem. What I would give for a few guns here. But unfortunately, they're mostly busy. Let's bring Anderson's guns up. And that's the core guns. They can come up as well. I mean, if I had to pull people out, who could I pull out? Who could he see me pull out? Well, he can't see me pull out Thomas, for example. He can't see me pull out the Stonewall Brigade. And he wouldn't be able to see me pull out most of Jones, except for this one regiment. Stephen, yeah, you can't. You're blocked there by those boys. You're blocked there by those boys. You're blocked there, so you can go that way because they can't get through to the guns because of zones of control. Options. That's the question. What options do I really have here? If it was later in the day, I would probably withdraw. I would probably withdraw to Hare's Ridge. Yeah, I would probably withdraw to Hare Ridge. Or this ridge. Unless there would be a better position. I mean, there's no good position at Mummersburg, so... And this would just be impossible for him to take because, well, the fact that it climbs almost straight up in places. Because it is just that steep. And as for Beechersville and such, yeah, he would never get there. I'd just place a wall of troops along Coswego Creek and such. But we shall have to see what he we shall have to see what he intends to do, especially with the 5th Corps. Again, if it was later in the day and I could afford, and I could probably withdraw to Hare Ridge, I probably would. The problem is, it's very early in the day. So I'm not going to get that opportunity. So in this case, it's going to be okay. It's going to have to be switching all defensive then. We've basically just got to swap to the defensive. Which, well, it's unfortunate to say the least. Why am I building breastworks there? I would. You will pull back. you will pull back to there. And since you are the most tired, you'll pull back to there. With the specific role of preventing any sneaky shenanigans, but also to start putting up breastworks back there. They will go there. Dolls, you can go back there to rally. They're not disordered, are they? They are. No. I swear one of these were disordered, but no, clearly not. 2nd North Carolina, you and Mr. Replacement Leader will fall back to there and get ready. And then you will go to there. As we basically look to start building more breastworks. Just from... where are they? There they are. 1st North Carolina Battalion of Sharpshooters. I am going to send them back to Hare Ridge to start putting breastworks on Hare Ridge, just in case I am forced to abandon Seminary Ridge entirely. What have we lost? 13... 3? About 13-3 to 11-8? No, 11-7. 11-7 to 13-3, so 13, about 1,500 more casualties, give or take. Which I suppose is not bad, but that's not exactly something to be screaming happy about. They will go there. Alrighty, I think that is that. Now it's just a case of finishing off combats. Where is it? Anderson's boys, fine, they're resting. Where would I put my line? That's the question. If I was to fall back to Hare Ridge along, probably from here onwards. So while he would have a covered approach here, actually I would probably, yeah, swing it out, have that as part of the line, because, well, it's reverse slope, but more importantly it's all forested anyway, and then have my line swing back along here, and then up again, and then along again, and so on and so forth. And just basically say, you've got to come to point blank range. But that is a problem for another time. As for now, things are just... they're not brilliant. But are they absolutely catastrophic? No. I could still eke a small victory out of this. I doubt I'm going to get a major victory unless the federal line just implodes in one go, which I highly, highly doubt. So for now, let us push on to the melee phase, and we will just murderize these poor 6th New York Cavalry boys that are just sort of stuck there. So, as more Federal cavalry lost is expensive for them. Still, I have options. So for now, let us say that is that. Am I over? As I said, am I happy with the situation? Not really. Could I have done better on day one? Absolutely. I was quite passive on day one. And the fact that I lost Seminary Ridge on day one, when he snatched that during the fading hour, was a big blunder on my part. I should have accepted appalling losses to take it back. But, oh well. I am certainly dishing out a beating, especially to the Federal artillery. But he has really smashed up a few of my regiments, especially. But otherwise, the army as a whole is still remarkably intact. Beyond everything's lost something. I don't think I have a single fresh unit, but well, that's not strictly true, but I have very few fresh units. Everybody's been shot at least a little bit. Most people are just exhausted at this point. No one's really fresh. But that's still... but I doubt he is as well, especially down here, because the fighting's lasted a good 6 hours, so... no, maybe not 6, it's lasted since about 6 itself, so it's been going about 5 hours, on and off, but mostly on, so... I doubt they're in any better shape than I am. But we shall see. But for now, I thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed as always. If you have, please comment down below, hit that thumbs up, or if you haven't already, subscribe for more good old WDS / John Tiller goodness. I do have a new series in the works, so soon enough you'll be getting a new episode of something completely different. Still with muskets, however, but it's different enough because it will play very, very different. So, I thank you all for watching, and I will see you all very soon. So until then, bye-bye for now.